call Clarence Thomas a Black nationalist, man? help us understand that. This is the thesis of this book. Could you talk a little about what is the thesis of the Enigma of Clarence Thomas?
Sure. Well, it starts with who he was as a younger man. And I can get into much more detail about that, as the show goes on. But for his formative political years, he was a Black nationalist. He had come north from the South. He was a student at Holy Cross, and he helped found the Black Student Union. He was part of a cohort of Black male students who was recruited in 1968. And he helped form the Black Student Union, as I said, and they had a manifesto that he was the secretary treasurer. And if you look at the principles of that manifesto and the principles by which these guys acted, and they were guys because it was still an all-male college, they were very much in concert with a lot of the Black nationalist tenets of the late 1960s and the early 1970s. Very hostile to certain kind of integrationist ideas, very much in favor of Black separatism, very much uplift the race kind of philosophy, and they saw themselves and Thomas in particular saw himself as a race man, as very much believing that the fate of Black people depended upon Black men. And so, one of his formative influences was Malcolm X. He memorized all the speeches, not all the speeches, but many of the speeches of Malcolm X by listening to them on records. That's how people used to pass those around back in the day. Was just very much steeped in that philosophy, also quite confrontational. He led the big student walkout in his junior year against General Electric because of their recruiting practices. So it was a real part of his formation. And the important thing to say about all this is, as he moves to the right in the mid 1970s, what's interesting is how little of this earlier formation he gives up. People have noticed along the way that he was once a Black nationalist as a student, but the assumption was, well, he moved to the right and then junked it all. And what I found, that's what makes this a story, is how little of that he gave up. And so that's the real thesis of the story is this marriage, as you say, between kind of Black conservatism and Black nationalism.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punches!
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay Black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?